Good day, everyone, and it's another lovely day, and it's the fourth episode with you, Christine. Thank you for joining us in this series of episodes about emotional intelligence. I want to introduce you our Christine Gallaire. She's a master certified coach with a past career in multinational companies. And thank you actually for accepting the invitation and for your generosity about in sharing with your wisdom about emotional intelligence. And today, I guess we will start with connections and
Yeah,
relationships, emotional intelligence. Yes.
yeah.
So, how do you like to start? Yeah.
Well, thank you first for having me here. Okay, I'd like to start with what's the difference between connection and relationship. Okay, and in reality, we could have many relations with many people, so get to know many people, but with very little level of connection. And in those times with limited, I would say, presence. So presence, I mean, working together, being together in the same room. Um, we need to become even more efficient in building a connection with people virtually and remotely. So, what's the basis of connection in reality is the fact that when you connect with people, you really sense their needs, you really sense their contacts, their challenges, and their motivations. So, globally, well, how does it work? So in our brains, well, we have clever cells, and those clever cells are called mirror neurons. The role of the mirror neurons is to help us to understand the actions of others, the intentions, and the feelings of others. And actually, well, we have a slide for that, so if you'd like to share it. And there's a guy called Marco Iacoboni, a neuroscientist, okay, that believes that the biological basis of empathy, okay, is with our mirror neurons. That's really a key asset to our social brain. And personally, I really find that very fascinating. So in a way, well, if you decode the actions of people and their intentions, okay, imagine that I will decode your actions and your intentions. So I will respond in tune with those now. And so you would feel understood. And bingo, that would be a kind of connection.
Wow. But in a way, while you're saying this, if I understand you, I will actually respond to you. I feel understood. In a way, I feel it's a bit of manipulation. Does it? Or it can
Well,
lead us to that. So
it
what do
depends
you
very
think
much
about
on
this?
the. Yeah, what I think is that you're right, obviously, and but it depends very much about your intentions. And in that case, it would really very much depend on my intentions, my experience. In reality, connection happens when you really put a genuine intention in people, when I really actively listen to people, deeply listen, when I'm really interested in their lives. And, it's like decentralize, well, moving the focus from myself to completely put my attention to you and to others. So, in that sense, here, there's no manipulation because there's authenticity. Okay, there's really a genuine intention, the genuine pleasure to be connected with people. And this is what I like very much about connection. So intention is key in connecting.
So here, all of this because of the mirror neurons. These are the factor
Well,
that connects all of this.
yeah, that's a kind of little magic. And well, it starts very early when we are children. Okay, so even before we get to 12 months, more or less, the point is this one. Okay, you first observe some behaviors because so you're looking at, okay, what has been done, and then you look at the intention. So why is he doing that? Okay, and if you feel well that can fit with what you'd like to do, you reproduce. And it's a little bit like, this dad and his son. Okay, the son is just trying to shave like his dad. Okay, he's learning how to do that. So that's really the basic of what we call connection. In reality, they really support our learning from that end.
Wow. So you are promoting learning to through the mirror neurons with the support of mirror neurons. That's how
Yeah.
better learning can happen.
Well, let's say that surely in terms of behaviors, how we happen to do things, but not only in terms of behaviors. When we reproduce what someone is doing at work, look at those twins, for instance. Okay, they get so much in tune that they have even the same gesture when they're crying. Okay, they both understand that probably crying is the way to attract attention on something which is not going well. Okay, so in reality, very, very soon, very early in our lives, we happen to reproduce something, a behavior that to reach a certain kind of objective. So it means that we observe, and when we observe, we develop our empathy.
Wow. So you can let's put this in business context. So
Yeah,
how can empathy in this when we're talking here about the mirror neurons, how we learn from each other,
yeah.
these two cute babies who are actually crying the same way, they're having this. So how can we put this in the business context? What's happening there?
Okay, so let's imagine a sales guy. Okay, a sales guy that's going to meet his client. Okay, so if that sales guy will try to leverage on his empathy, he will start to listen actively his client. Okay, so in that sense, he will be able to catch not only the needs that the client will talk about, but maybe the needs that are underlying. Okay, so it will be so able to formulate a real tailored kind of offer. The client will feel understood and probably will also be intended to buy, but it goes even further. Actually, it's going to create the basis of a true relationship of further sharing, where that will create as well, let's say, a preference, for staying with that sales guy, listening to his offers, and so a preference for the company also of that sales guys. So obviously, well, it looks a bit simplistic here because that are obviously also kind of criteria, that are at play, like what is the budget, what is the product competitive, the service competitive, is that the right timing, does our client have to deal with internet politics or not? But at the end, the sales guys, the sales guy will be having sensed deeper kind of needs. He will have established a deeper relationship, and thanks to that, it will generate a kind of preference.
Yeah, actually, I'm really intrigued here by this sales guy example, because actually, in a way, I recall each and every product I tried to share to buy before,
Mm-hmm.
and this emotional connection that was happening between myself and the sales guy. When there is a real good guy actually, or that I perceive good, that represents the brand in a good way, is
Yeah.
somebody who really captivated my heart. He answered.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually answering the questions that I didn't ask, and
Mm-hmm.
he was actually sensing what I want to say, or actually, or asking me the right questions to offer me the right product in the end.
Yeah.
So can you tell me more about what happened, to promote or set our sales guys into better emotional intelligence and use their emotions in a more effective way?
Yeah, for sure. So there's one thing is to be aware about what your emotions are at the moment, okay, and try to work on having the right set of emotions at the time. Um, if your sales guys is hype, okay, is going to be full of energy, very optimistic, it will convey you a message that will be attractive, and probably you will be more intended to buy. Okay, let's imagine now that it's exactly the contrary. The sales guy is down. Okay, it comes to you. You feel that well. It looks like more. Let's say talking about himself, that looking at what your needs. It feels like not very enthusiastic about trying to understand what your needs are. How will you feel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally
and
different. Yeah.
totally different. So another thing is very often when you're trying to sell, what happens is that you tend to have your own internal dialogue. Okay, when you have that internal dialogue, you miss the focus of really centering your attention to your client. Okay. So the real first thing, I guess, which is also very connected to empathy, is active listening. Because when you start to active listen to people, what happens is that you perceive not only the words, but you perceive as well, the words that are not really, should not be there. So that looks like a kind of message. But also you perceive all the gesture, you perceive the variation of the tone of the voice, the facial expression, all that kind of stuff. And so you can then mirror those kind of facial expressions sometimes, or use them simply to ask questions, because suddenly you understand that there's something behind. At the contrary, when you are just focusing on the speech you have to do, you miss that point. There are many information that you miss. Okay, and as a sales guy, that's really critical then.
Yes, and I believe that these sales guys are who are typical, are coming and tailoring. They're just studying by heart what are the
Yeah,
features of the product, and they just start
yeah.
putting
Well,
this
exactly.
in front of
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
just feel,
yeah.
when I just need the pause button.
Yeah, exactly. Or you say, well, please send me the video.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
and I can
exactly.
watch it whenever I want.
Yeah, so
No, that's for sure.
yeah, so it's they actually, and I believe they have a lot of pressure from their leadership to perform and say the script as it is, because this script
Yeah,
is really tested before,
yeah,
and you have
yeah,
to do it
exactly.
perform. So they
Yeah,
focus on their
yeah,
performance and how well they say
yeah.
the and now we have to go to the leaders who are
We have to
actually
go to the
hiring this.
leaders.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we have to go now to the leaders, what happens in terms of leadership? So try to imagine a CEO.
Yeah.
Okay, the
Yeah.
CEO comes to the office, is angry today. Is angry today. Okay, he's really frustrated, nervous. He gets into the office. What will happen? Probably will shout at someone. Okay, or will try to close all kind of conversations and close his door and stay in his office. Okay, or simply show how unhappy it is today with the performance or something that has happened. So, what will be the impact on his team?
No, no. I believe it's all where they will shrink down to the earth and just, this is a bad day for our boss, so just avoid him. So,
Yeah, just avoiding. And what happens if the staff has something to discuss? Okay, with the boss. Okay, if they have an issue that where they really need his contribution, or if they have an opportunity to share.
we have this in our culture, when they say Rabbina yastur or may God help us, just they say their prayer on the door, just take the.
Just to find courage, right? Okay. And I really understand that, and try now, let's try to imagine the very same guy, okay, the
Yeah.
very same CEO. He's coming to the office, he's full of energy, he's optimistic, he has decided to start properly his day, okay. What will happen is that he will be able to see opportunities, maybe where others will just see hurdles, and so that's going to help the whole organization to go to take the road to success.
Yeah.
That's also the reason why I guess that it's fundamental for people being in leadership positions to really be very much self-aware of their emotional state and work on it. Okay, in such a way to convey positivity, to convey constructivism, all that kind of stuff.
May I ask you something? It's related to positivity and optimism, and
Hmm.
relaying it. Sometimes too much of it is sometimes killing to the morale of the people. Yeah,
Mhm.
when the leader is always positive, even when there is a great crisis, everybody is panicking and everybody, sometimes over optimism without a real connection to and being empathetic with the system
Yeah,
and how it
yeah,
feels now. This kind of super hyper positive, leader who
yeah.
doesn't even see the emotions when they're in a different place,
You're
because
right.
there is an epidemic, there is something that had a crisis in the company, somebody lost his
Yeah,
their parents, lost a beloved one,
yeah,
and he is still with this smile and optimism, because
yeah, sure,
this
sure.
became a habit that it became, that
It's a
he
mask.
couldn't even disconnect. Yes, it
Mm.
became a matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can, leaders actually, develop empathy in
All
this
right.
situation?
You
Mm,
know, it doesn't have to do with being over, in a way, over optimistic, because it's not the objective. Okay, over optimism is far away from a reality very often. Okay, and it's just like following a kind of mantra that someone has. Okay, the point is really creating connection with people, and to
mm,
create connection with people, well, there are several kind of things we can do. Okay. For instance, as you might see that as well. There's another slide which talks about it. Okay, when we say get out of your comfort zone, what do I mean here? Is that very often, if you do not experience what it means not to be able to do something, if you do not experience how it feels not to know, okay, and to have to learn to ask for support, okay, um, you don't know how being helpless will feel, okay, and this happens to each and every people, okay. Why of that? And I guess that by getting out of your comfort zone, what happens is that you develop, in a way, humility. Okay. So I would say that humility is really a path to empathy. Another thing which is really fundamental is cultivate curiosity. Well, ask people, ask questions about people's life. Okay, socialize with people that are different from the people usually you would meet. Okay, from various circles, the various networks, different kinds of, I would say, religion, countries, having different kind of beliefs, different kind of background as well, both professional, political. Okay, and because of that, what you will learn as well is that, well, that there's a certain variety of personalities, needs, experiences of life, and that will also feed in a way your ability to understand different kind of people, okay, and sense difference. Another thing is be present with people when you talk to them. If you are thinking about something else, okay, or just simply rushing, I'm not going to be present. Okay. Another thing is recognize the topics, that really can excite them, engage them, okay, and try to understand what makes them happy or unhappy. So as to your point, before you were saying, well, a CEO who is over optimistic will miss, in a way, okay, the emotional cues of his people. It might not
mm.
notice, or maybe he will notice it, but he will just, exclude that. That's not going to be helpful to talk about it. In reality, that's going to be helpful to talk about it, because if people feel that they are understood,
Yeah,
they will be more inclined to put additional effort to reach a common goal. If they
yeah,
feel that they are, in a way, their emotions and their personal lives are mistreated because ignored,
mm,
they won't put the same energy, they won't put the same commitment. In reality, so we can say that putting some empathy is leveraging on your capacity to inspire people.
well, that's very profound. Actually, putting empathy is a way to inspire people.
Yeah, yeah,
That's amazing, Christine, and how you articulate it. And I believe that building a muscle, to understand the diversity of
yeah.
people, actually by spending time, this actually by cultivating curiosity, the way that you're putting it, is
Hmm.
something that many leaders are missing because of they're totally soaked and, in the work activities. Maybe they're working 12 to 14 hours per day, only seeing the regular clients, only seeing the regular employees, only seeing, those who they like to see, who they selected to see because they're already powerful in their zone. And sometimes by time they really lose the connection with what is happening in the world.
Yeah, and
They're stuck in the 80s or the 90s or the,
yeah, yeah, for sure. And that there's also another risk associated to that. The risk lies in their cognitive biases. Why?
Yeah.
Because they will take the habit to just talk to certain kind of people because they prefer them more. Okay, because those people tend to think the same way. Okay, so there's a similarity, and they will go for the easy way. So sticking with people, they are similar to them. What will happen is that they will then miss the point and the richness as well of various or diverse point of views.
Wow.
And because of this, okay, the company will be less innovative. They will become less innovative. If you are just always talking to the same kind of people, you will always get the same kind of feedback. If you get out of your comfort zone and talk to different kind of people, then obviously you will get at least a chance to hear something different. Then
Yeah.
listening to it, that's something different. Okay, that's not a step, but at least hear.
Wow, that's a big risk to happen, and actually, I believe that emotions and how you describe it now is like a muscle, as if you're actually in a way you are training it and cultivating emotional intelligence, working on accepting diversity, on humility, on
Yeah,
empathy.
yeah,
However, I can tell that sometimes in some industries that I work with, emotions showing leaders showing emotions may fear in a way that they are weak, they're perceived
yeah,
to be
yeah.
weak, especially that emotions are shamed in our in many societies and many cultures. They see
Yeah.
that when a strong leader is showing his vulnerable side or being
Mhm,
connected, emotionally vulnerable, being humble, and this may make him
mhm.
in a way show in a way that he's a bit weak, or that he is not in control anymore, and that
Mhm.
may actually harm his branding and the company branding in the end.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Well, what do I think about that? I believe that if the leadership style is, I would say, autocratic, okay, so top down, for sure you need to appear as the leader as someone very strong, okay, and someone who's going to impose something. But if you really want to inspire people and engage them, you need to touch something which is deeply emotionally rooted in people. And for sure, that's not going to be about showing how strong you are. That might help people have a sense at the beginning that, okay, we know where we're going. But, in some kind of situation, saying, okay, we are in the middle of a pandemic, we don't exactly know what to do, but those are the options. And we've decided that probably this is the best one. Okay, that could be another way already to present things. Okay, and maybe that people would buy more. Um, the other thing is talking about if you want to create a strong empathic relationship, you need in a way to remove your mask because people feel when there's no authenticity. People feel when you're just giving a speech. And so when you remove that mask, what happens is that you create a kind of two-way street, okay, where people feel that if you show that, well, you don't really exactly know what to do, or that you've been impacted yourself by the pandemic. Okay, so you share a personal story, showing to people that you are a normal human being. Okay. You're not a kind of superhero, but you're someone normal with normal life, okay, that can be impacted by, let's take the virus now, by the virus as well as the others, okay, and you share something about it. People will feel that there's a connection because you look a bit similar to them, and that's going to create that big two-way street, okay, of empathy. In reality, to my point, I guess that vulnerability has to do with courage
Yeah.
because it's exactly the contrary, actually, of weaknesses. Showing and being able to show your vulnerability shows that as a leader, you recognize you're self-aware. You know about what works well and what works less well. Okay, and you're showing courage. You create, in reality, connection. You create engagement with people.
Yeah. So I believe there's Hatem Azem is actually putting in the comments now. That's a
Thank
very
you.
important topic, and he's thanking you for covering it.
Okay.
And actually, in a way, humility is a strength that comes with strong self-confidence, and it does not contradict with decisiveness.
Exactly, and I would say that that's a very wise comment. So I have to thank you for that because actually, humanity, as you're saying, does not contradict with decisiveness. Okay, you can be very human, you can be deeply profound. Okay, and on the other hand, what you can do as well is simply show that you can take decisions. You are in the business, but meaning in the business doesn't mean being so tough that you exclude totally humanity. I would say that leaders that are really leaders and bulking people, they show humanity.
Yeah. I believe that that was a real amazing, experience with you in this episode, talking about connection, talking about empathy, talking about humility, talking about creating real bonds, and actually being connected to the employees, actually, and inspiring them with optimism and positivity, as well being connected to their emotional state and showing their vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
a total, it's a huge meal of, of emotional intelligence for leaders, that's to connect and create better engagement with their
Yeah.
employees, and as well for the salespeople. This salesperson example that you started from, it reminded me of great brands which have real great sales force, and those great salespeople who really engaged my heart to buy their product. And
Yeah.
actually, sometimes I know that this product is not the best product in the market, but I know I'm supported by
Mhm.
a good brand. Sometimes people are selecting a product not because it's the best, but because they will have the best support afterwards.
Yeah.
They feel,
Exactly.
I feel good when I go to this service center, and this is the brand I choose because they really understand me, and they actually will take good care of me. I mean, it's not good to have the best product in the market and not have a good support and a good connection with the brand itself.
Exactly. Exactly. And I would say, that that's also something key to success for companies. Saying, okay, so we talk often about customer care,
Yeah.
but how really is that really put into action? And so when you find a real customer care, you become you stay with that company, you stay with that brand. Because even if you know that maybe another product is going to be $20 cheaper, okay, you will say to yourself, well, okay, what do I know about the service? What has happened when I had an issue, I didn't know how to operate the product, or something was not feeling right. Okay, what kind of treatment did I get? And I get, that those people in customer care that are really well trained, okay, they
Mm.
really feel like solving the issue. They really feel like investing in you and understanding your issue and solving it. And it's
Yes.
more than just, okay, I click in the menu to see what are, the main issues and I give you the answer. No, it's really trying to establish in a way a connection. And you're right. I mean, as human beings, we feel that. We feel when there's really the willing, a genuine, I would say, willingness to support.
Yes, that's very true. So, how do you like to maybe summarize today's episode? Like
Mhm.
give what kind of learning you like to share. By the end of
Well,
this episode.
the first thing is relationship doesn't mean per se connection. Okay, to create a connection, you really need to invest, to put genuine attention, active listening to it. You need to develop empathy. Your empathy is very much linked to mirror neurons. So to develop that, get out of your comfort zone, be curious about people, explore new ways, and I guess that by doing this, you will feel more in tune with people and you will inspire them. So don't be afraid to be in a position where you will show humility or vulnerability. People, as your followers, will surely appreciate to see you without a mask, and you will be so more inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Christine. That was amazing. And the next episode, I guess, we will talk about optimism, emotional
Yeah.
intelligence, and optimism. You
Yeah.
mentioned it today to create a connection
Mm.
and create an impact in the workplace, and actually being connected to your client or to your employees. You have to have some level of optimism. So maybe next episode we will talk about it.
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you,
Okay.
Christine.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I really appreciate your time, and thank you for every the wisdom that you shared today. It was a
Hmm.
real amazing episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And would you like to maybe talk about how to engage with your clients in
Yeah.
working with with emotional intelligence, and how leaders can benefit from working with you, so.
As you can see, well, first they can very easily contact me or look at also the reviews that are in my LinkedIn profile, because there are many. Okay, I think that there are more than 20. So they get a flavor, of the way I'm working. Okay, and what people got from their coaching experience with me. So I guess that would be the best thing. Another thing it will be simply in touch. Be simply in touch and just talk about it. So that's something very simple and someone very approachable. So, and I'll be really very happy, okay, to be in touch with you guys. So, thank you, Sharaf.
Thank you, Christine. And for the next episode, we will be with Christine talking about optimism. So stay with us and have a great day. Actually, there's another comment coming here from Aziz Hawass. She's a master coach, one of our
Mm-hmm.
members also. Thank you. That was a really useful and inspiring.
Okay, thank you, Isis.
Okay. So okay, looking forward to the next topic of
All right.
optimism. Okay.
Okay.
So.
Okay, great. Thank you,
So
Isis.
have a great day, everybody, and
Have a
goodbye.
great day. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.